Fresh. On deck is Willem Dross Stefowski. Set the stage is E1. Ooh.
Love you guys. Yeah. Have you guys ever been to a Korean barbecue restaurant?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of unique in that you have to pay to cook your own meat. Yeah, if you pay a little extra, you can wash your own dishes and take out the trash. Yeah, I was at Mount Baldy this past weekend. You know, I learned that it wasn't always called Mount Baldy. You know, back when the mountain was a lot younger and more hopeful, it was known as Mount Rogan. And somebody told me that if you scratch your head, that's what makes you go bald, you know? But I don't think so, because my balls are still hairy as hell. And one of my friends, he's a white dude. He's like super duper white. I think he's like part albino or something. Yeah, he's so white when he comes to my house, all my plants start growing in his direction. You know, whenever I have sex, like I never last as long as I'd like to, you know? I'm always like, come on, penis, hang in there. Yeah, it's always like, man, screw this. Yeah, I used to go to water parks every summer. But then one summer I had a fairly traumatic experience happen, so I stopped going. Yeah, when I was 16, I was waiting on these stairs to go on the slide. And then I look above me, or I look in front of me, and the girl, she's about my age, but her boobs are like right in my face, you know? And it's kind of cold and windy, right? So her nipples are popping out. Nice. So I was like, oh crap. So I turned. And now this girl here, her face is like right in my crotch, you know? And I already got a partial woody, right, from nipple girl over here. But then now crotch girl here, she like yawns, you know? So I was like, oh crap, you know? It's like full woody down, you know? And like, I almost like punched her in the freaking eye and shit. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. So I just ran up the stairs and shit. And, you know, I think this is pretty, it must be a common occurrence in raging waters because the lifeguard was like, just go, come on, you know? So I got on that slide, I got out of there. I was like, man, they really need to rename this place. It's called Raging Boners. Why didn't the oyster share his food? He's shellfish.
Hey.
Yeah, there's a sailor, you know, and he was hired aboard this boat. And so they're out at sea for about 6 months. And so he's talking to his buddy. He's like, hey man, when are we gonna go back in the port, you know? I'm getting kind of horny out here. And he's like, oh no, we're not going back in the port for another 6 months. He's like, what? You know, I can't wait that long. It's like, well, have you tried the barrel? Like, no, what's that? So he shows him to this room, there's a barrel in the room, a little hole in it. He's like, well, there you go. So he tries it out, right? He starts fucking the barrel. And it works really good, you know? He was talking to his buddy later. He's like, oh yeah, that barrel was awesome. He's like, dude, I'm gonna use it every day. He's like, well, every day but Sunday, right? He's like, oh, you can't use it on Sunday? It's like, well, you can, but Sunday's your day in the barrel, so. What do you call a guy that can make a business suit real fast? Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pride Month needs a mascot. And I got the perfect one. A flamingo. Right? They got pink feathers, you know, they love to dance. And they're like a non-predatory, peaceful type of bird. Yeah, they only eat like brine shrimp and algae and stuff. Nobody gives a damn about brine shrimp. And you know what a group of flamingos is called? They're not called a flock. No, they're called a flamboyance. Right? How gay is that, you know? Yeah, it's like all the best parts of Pride Month, all wrapped up into one animal and shit. Yeah, even the name flamingo is Flaming O. Flaming O? That's just a burning butthole. Yeah, normally when a guy brags about how big his junk is, it's usually the opposite, right? He's usually really small, you know? I was talking to this guy the other day, he was like, oh man, my dick's so big, I'm hung like a horse. I was like, shh, yeah, like a seahorse. Yeah, I think Shaquille O'Neal is like the happiest man on earth, you know? He's like, oh, he's so jolly, like everyone just loves him, right? I think because he's never been bullied before. Yeah, how are you gonna mess with someone who's so tall that his crotch is in your face? You know, it's like, hey Shaquille, give me your fucking lunch money. Never mind. Yeah, you know that thing going around where like if you're a lady and you're alone in the woods, would you rather run into a bear or a strange man? And a lot of women are choosing the bear, right? Well, I think that's just ignorance, bear knowledge. Because I ran into a bear alone in the woods once. Yeah. And he fucked the shit out of me. Oh. Yeah, I've had sex with all different types of women, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. In my opinion, Asian women give the best blowjobs. Oh. Yeah. If any of you ladies like to prove me wrong, you can meet me in the bathroom after my set. You know, comedians will always tell you two things, right? They always tell you when they just get booked on a show. They always tell you when they just have sex. That's a bit cheap now, right? Like myself, I've been booked on a show in over a month. But I did get laid last week, so
Keep it going for Elon. He got laid last week. He was in the barrel. All right, and the whole